have the link, like, already.
Mic on.
Nope. It'll go live here in a second.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like actually going up. There it goes. It's up. Okay, well, I just learned you can do that.
Pop it out.
I didn't know you could do that. That explains why you guys were able
Hello.
to watch it so much easier than I was.
Yeah.
Alright,
We
well,
got
this is this week's
Phantom.
stream. Me and the rest of the team have been kind of waiting back a little bit as beta has kicked off. There was a lot of bugs found. A lot of bugs found. So as hot fixes and different dev updates have been going on, we kind of decided to just stay out of the way and let Legend do what he needs to do. So we've been kind of hanging back on that. Part of the reason why we haven't been streaming as well. So this week, Legend will be going through on those updates. Sorry that you guys have to see my Discord. For some reason, since the last update, Discord isn't allowing me to pop out the stream, so you have to see my whole Discord, page. But it do be like that sometimes.
So it doesn't show up here?
No, every time I do it, I have to completely close out of Discord. Because it
Oh.
says that it pops out, but it doesn't actually pop out, and I can't get to it. So then I can't see stream, and the only way to get out of it is to just get out of call and come back in. So, yeah. So you guys are going to be seeing my Discord screen today as we stream Legend going on about his half of, development.
Whatever that is now that I do from time to time.
Y'all
Okay,
will
cool.
learn today.
Yeah. Hello,
Oh my
people.
god, 103 closed? I didn't know it was 103. I thought we were sitting at like 60, 70?
There's a bit of duplicates or something where not enough information was provided, but yeah, it's okay. I see we have Phantom, Chimera, Delphi, Frog in the rows, Corey, Lila, Ritz, Shrike, Euphona, and Rose and Luna. Welcome. All. So my plan is basically it's yeah, just to show kind of since we launched beta and then like what kind of has been fixed and has been updated and worked upon throughout the beta period. So yeah, let's start off with the change logs. They kind of come in various levels basically, and whenever we feel like we have enough to make it a update, so to say, with some relevant major, minor, or unnoticeable changes. So right before beta released, we fixed quite some things, or at least tried to. So one of the key ones was the pee and pooping logic, like how it worked and how like defining where it could pee and it could poop. It's going to be fixed again later, but yeah.
There was a lot of issues with it. People were going in. You can show, if you want to, you can show the Beta Bugs channel, because there's a lot of pictures of some very interesting happenings.
No, not in Beta Bug.
Not
it's
Beta
like
Bugs.
scattered help or tester talk.
Yeah, Beta Tester Talk or somewhere else. I think it was Beta Tester Talk or Beta Help, if they didn't know what they were doing. But there was bugs everywhere, honestly. But with the pee poop logic, the horses just didn't use the restroom at all. And then after a while, he reset the logic to try to make it better. So then they basically flooded everyone's worlds, which is not great either. And then they started going to the restroom on stairs and on fences. For some reason, they would be in their paddock, and then the horses, I guess, would just go along the fence like a dog, I guess. So
Yeah.
that was changed. And let's see, the animation isn't completed, correct?
I don't know. That's the only anime I have, the tail one.
Right.
Um, so I don't know if they have anything further planned for that
Mhm.
specific animation or to make one for peeing and one for pooping, but I currently just use the same one. Um, yeah. And of
It's
course, because
oh,
that's what we talked about, we also wanted to nerf the vanilla horses. So, you know, because we kind of, when we started the project, we were like, okay, our
whoa,
horse is
whoa,
going to
whoa, where'd
jump.
you go?
What?
You uh it just started going off on a tangent. Did we go to the next point?
No, I'm just going wherever I want to.
Oh, okay, because I was excited to talk about the shooting poop.
I will come to that.
Okay.
But yeah, when we started the project, we were like, we didn't know how high the horses should jump, but we knew that vanilla horses, I think they could jump a max of, was it 4 blocks or something?
5.5.
5 point, also the vanilla? No, it was
Mm-hmm.
5, yeah, 5.5, yeah. And we were like, okay, so our horse is going to be jump at max is going to be like around double or something. So we were like 8 or 10. And then when we actually tested it in game, it was ridiculous. Like it was so insanely high for something. It just didn't fit Minecraft. So we decided on having the maximum jump that vanilla horses could have um,
Which
at
we call
max
ponies.
level. But yeah, then ponies was nerfed to only jump 2.5 at max random, basically. And there was also, yes, an issue, as Hannah mentioned, that when you shot poop, um, like with a bow or something, if you didn't hit it as a player, if somebody else hit a poop, it would crash the game or like the server.
The whole game
Uh,
just down.
yeah. Um, so that's something.
Don't ask how we
Um,
figured that out. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
yeah, that's just happened. We also made so when the horse stands still for some time, it like resets back to a walking gait. So you can't just like stop and then instantly start into a canter. It's still being finagled into place to work as we would like, but it's getting there. Um, of course, we reworked and got almost done with the advancement tab in the tag box. We also updated a lot of the GUIs and the placement in the GUIs and prettified them basically. Um, we also then, like here at this point, we also slowly started adding in the horse disobedience. We still need to iron out some details about some more disobedience, but it's on the way.
For those who don't
Um,
understand what the disobedience is, because a lot of you are new to stream for the first time, the horse disobedience is one of the one of the things that I never understood as an actual equestrian is that in normal Minecraft you walk up to a horse and you get on its back and then you just kind of stay there until it just gives up, and then once it gives up, then it just follows your every command until just death do you part, I guess. And it just like you could drive that thing into lava and it just simply didn't care. So we wanted to change that. So what we did is once you had your SWEM horse, you would have to retame it. And after retaming it, it wouldn't immediately obey you. You're going to have to train it. You're going to have to earn its trust. You're going to have to actually work with it. Currently, the training is simply riding it as you go. Like they're in V2, we plan on adding a lot more that makes it a lot more dynamic. But for now, the more that you work with it, ride with it, you will get more experience points for that horse for their speed, their jump, and their affinity or their love towards you. And so then over time, the more that they love and trust you, the more that they will actually obey you without without disobeying you. So if you told it go off a cliff, it would trust you so much that it would do as you have asked it to. Um, so that's where the disobedience comes from. The we started it in that changelog, and we have been testing how it's been reacting because it was our very general sense of disobedience and how it should work, and they have found a lot of problems, which we will look in the changelog after that. The changelogs will keep going as we go through these.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. We also found out that a lot of our recipes depended on a heavy amount of leather.
A lot of
So
leather.
we a lot of leather. So we tweaked it by adding our own type of leather, refined leather. Even though it's called refined leather, it's not the standard process as you might know from other mods, which is super, super tedious. It's basically just three materials. I think it's a water bucket, was it sand
I think
and
it's
leather?
water bucket, sand, and
Oh, kelp or something, dry
dried
kelp or
kelp.
something.
Right, because we kind of use dried kelp as quote unquote like plastic, or kelp has those really slick feelings. So if you're gonna process leather or something, we tried. There's
Yeah.
logic there somewhere. I promise.
And of course, to look into people playing with other mods, we didn't give like directly just leather back. We just made it our new item because if
Hmm.
we gave leather back and making it easy, other mods relying on leather might be super easy then. So yeah.
Right.
Um, we added some more whitewash blocks, the door, the trapdoor, and the log. Um,
Do we have any pictures to go with that? That might be in updates. I can't check because you're on my Discord. I can't pop
um,
out screen anymore. But oh, that was the original drawing. I found that the other day from 2 years, well, not 2 years ago. It's a year and a half now. But from almost 2 years ago, that was the original drawing for the server. It's so ugly. Oh, there it is. It's terrible. All right, sorry, continue.
it's good.
I just found it
I
the other
don't.
day in his memories. Yeah, if you keep
Maybe in gallery.
uh
No,
what are we
that's
looking
the
for
stall
again?
doors.
No, no, no.
Whitewash
Keep
doors and trapdoors.
updates.
But
Updates
no.
should have a general image if I remembered to post it. I thought I remembered to post it. I did not remember to post it. It's fine, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Hey Delphi, you want to get me
Um,
a picture of Whitewash, please? That'd be great. Here, let me see if I can get it.
well,
I might have it.
also there was like a lot of just smaller issues and fixing some smaller bugs with permission button being one step behind as the
Hmm.
actual value and water troughs, which are a complete nightmare to get working. They've gotten better. They're still not good, but definitely something I'm still working on. So yeah, just tiny bits here and there, and then at least some like unnoticeable changes. Just updated some hitboxes or flavor text, or
It's a lot of
we
back-end
also
stuff that you don't
yeah
notice until like it's off, and then your brain is like, bad.
yeah. Well, I don't know why I put it down here, but we did also add a whitewash sign.
Well, you
So
just don't love our whitewash signs and stuff as much as we do.
no.
Legend, you horrible human.
Um, right after release, we found a crash with world jetting. Um,
I have no idea what that is. To this day, I just remember you saying, yeah, it's fixed. And I'm like, I don't know what even happened.
so yeah, we we fixed the world gen crash, and then there was like this floating English bridle. Um, specifically, the English bridle was floating, not animating with.
Do you have a picture of that?
So
Because, like, these
I
people aren't
think I
beta
do.
testers. They
Yeah,
don't get to see nothing.
true, true.
So, getting to see pretty pictures of very interesting bugs might be entertaining. Yeah, there it
So
is. It
like
just
this
decided
here.
to,
It's also
uh,
duplicate, but this is basically stuck onto a separate model, so that's why it's floating up here.
it was very weird.
Uh,
And it was only English. It wasn't the Western. It wasn't the Adventure. Just English.
yeah. There you go. So that was interesting. We then
I can't
fixed.
check
I
pictures.
fixed a rendering crash because we implemented like bugging and rearing like a tiny bit before this. But the logic wasn't at like peak level basically. So you could end up in a loop of the horse keeping bucking or rearing and being like stuck underwater or stuck in lava or stuck on magma. Who knows? That could crash the game as well. So um, we helped people out and made the code randomized when you spawned it. Um, and again, here we refactored the P logic again to
Again.
not remove water, to not pee on water, and to not just remove any blocks, basically, because it could do that before. So imagine you had a diamond block and it chose to pee what the diamond block is, gone.
Hey,
Um,
Legend.
yeah,
Delphi got a picture for you in Mute VC. There you go. So for all those who don't know what the whitewash looks like, we added fences, logs, doors, buttons, signs, etc. We added the sign was added a little later because we forgot it existed. But anyway, we added everything for whitewash, which is the oak texture, just whitewashed. It's a very old. I don't know for anyone who doesn't know what that term is. Um, it's just taking just wood and just putting a thin layer of white over it, and so it just gives it whatever that look is. So we added that for a lot of like either modern builds or clean builds or some nice pretty like white barns with different colored trims. Um, and as you can see, it was used to build the barn right behind it. So that is our
yeah,
rich people barn at the horse market, um, where all the $1 million horses stay. Anyway, thank you.
yeah.
Just want to make sure that they're able to see it.
Mm, well, wait, I skipped that. Here. Yeah, cool. Um, we then had an issue where the coat would change every time you loaded the world. So when people opened up their world, their lovely horses and their chosen coat was now a new coat.
Hmm.
That apparently took some time to fix, but we got it in the end.
Every time
Um,
people were so confused, they're like, "Yeah, so I could have sworn I had a chestnut mare, and now I got to paint. What's going on?" That took a while to fix.
yeah. Haley, the mod is you can download it and play it. You can play it alone if you like to, but you can also play it with everyone. Wait, Delphi already answered that. My bad.
When it's released, by the way.
Yeah, when it's released, of course.
This is access to beta testers only. Beta testing is closed. We had in the Discord is where everything is. We had applications go open. Everyone was able to apply for a week. We went through them and then chose our beta testers. We might do a second round of. Do you just stop seeking out everyone Danish?
He said, "What's up, Danish muffins?"
That is just a kind of muffin, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Isn't that a thing? Yeah, there you go.
What the hell?
They're like weird strudel thingies.
Oh. Um.
God. Anyway.
Oh, you're the weird dog. Gotcha. Uh,
But anyway,
Corey has a
so beta is
question about
closing.
the.
Hmm.
Yeah, Corey has a question about the horse coats. Will there be a flea-bitten gray? I'm not sure what type of gray we have currently.
I know what that is. V2 will have genetics. Our current coats are the coats that we have. We have 18 of them, and we're considering adding a couple more as time goes on before release. But so far, it will be the original 18. You can find that on our TikTok. We have a showcase of those coats. Oh, scary
Yeah.
box thingy.
Yeah, definitely. It will be a code for horse. When you have it down, you can choose you have it. Yes, correct.
That's Froggy Rose, one of our barn cats.
Yes. Yeah. Cool.
I might
Fixed another
as well
crash.
mention that. Oh, sorry. I might as well mention that since we're on it. So for those who don't know what our barn cats are, it's a role that we have in the server where they're not officially staff, but they've been so active and helpful in the server that they get to kind of help us. Um, they get to help us with answering questions, welcoming people in. They kind of assist us to make sure that we can keep doing the jobs that we need to do. Um, because we like to do all those little things, but sometimes we can't catch things so quickly. As usually I'm entranced in work and I forget that life exists for a while. So that's what our barn cats are. Anyone can become a barn cat, but you have to be invited and chosen to do so. And those barn cats have chances of becoming staff after a while if they do a wonderful job as they had been doing before. Um,
Hmm.
anyway, so for those who didn't know what that role was, moving on.
With the separate ranch mod in V2, will we be remodeling all livestock or dogs in them? In Minecraft, I think. It's like, will we redo all animals in Minecraft, basically?
Are you asking me? I don't know how much you know about SWLVM.
I don't know shit.
Okay, so in SWLVM, yes, we plan on basically redoing all stock. If I remember correctly, because it's been a while since we worked on it, since V1 has required so much of my attention, so we put it farther in the background. But we plan on adding some animals and redoing the current ones, like upgrading them in a lot of ways to have a lot more AI um, and stats for themselves, like breeding and coats and different breeds, etc. We won't go nearly as extensive as we are with horses. Horses is our main goal, and the livestock mod is specifically to support the western side of equestrianism. So it's not going to be 100% based in livestock. It's going to be in livestock supporting equestrianism. But yeah, there will be dogs. Hey Luna. There will be dogs. There will be goats, sheep, llamas. You know, the common core and then breeds of each, and each of those breeds will have functionalities for what they do and how you breed into them. Yes, you spelled my name right. I do have an H on the end. I appreciate that.
Cool. Um,
Let's
yeah,
see.
we updated our custom player renderer while riding a horse, so we actually added because Minecraft has like two layers when doing skins. They have the layer that is stuck to the body, but you also have like an extra outer layer which people make use of for hats or sleeves or jackets. I don't know.
Or
That
hair,
was
or
not,
yeah.
yeah, hair. That was not rendering properly, so we also fixed that. So now you actually see your whole skin when riding the horses. Um,
Ritz Cracker breeding has not yet been figured out 100% because with a lot of the breeding, we don't want to go too accurate, as we do think that you can have breeding, but we're not here to teach kids about accuracy for in that respect there. So we're trying to figure out exactly how we can do it well, to the point where it would be more than just giving them a food, but then it would also be less than real life. So we haven't figured it out yet because it's going to be a very delicate balance, but we will get there in time. Um, it'll probably be something like a little bit like a ritual kind of thing where you do certain things in order and then they touch noses and yay baby, and it'll be all cute and small and adorable.
mhm, sweet.
But V2, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Um, Fixed an issue where the horses would sink and get stuck in the water, and then you couldn't get it out because it would rear and buck, and you can't mount a horse while it's rearing or bucking. That was pretty annoying. Um, as mentioned, we also redid the hunger and thirst logic because it was not enabled. So I re-enabled it, and that's where a lot of issues then became an issue, basically. Some other minor changes like fixing a crash using the full adventure gear if you do not use any armor, and adjusted some elytra rendering while on the horse. And again, some small unnoticeable
Did
changes.
you take a picture of that? It was the elytra was the opposite direction, upside down, and really really small for some reason. It
Yeah.
was really weird.
Um, so now I'm just missing getting it to rotate correctly with the animations, and then it should be good. Do you know how the custom blanket creation will work?
Do what now?
What do you mean, Kimira, by custom blanket creation?
Do you mean like through our Patreon? Our Patreon has a few different ranks on it, because, I mean, now that we're on the Patreon, our Patreon does have a few different ranks on it for different things that can be used on the server. when the servers open, the server will be released at the same time as the mod. Um, but uh, there's a few different things that you can do that would be like monthly benefits. And those monthly benefits would be like, like extra horse care or things like that. So you could, play a little bit more instead of, working to make sure that you have bedding for the horses a little bit less. Um, but in one of those Patreon tiers is, I believe it's the $15, if I'm correct, where the first month that you get it, we would design a, yes, please help me out here because I'm going off memory here. We would go off a, whoa, that confused me. That currency, I'm like, what in the world? Okay, because I'm used to seeing like euro or dollar. I guess I'm a nerd. Anyway, so is that the right one? Nope, that's not the right one.
This is the $15.
Yes, the benefits. Okay. I was looking at the bottom because I couldn't go by the price. But yeah, so it comes with a club branding bundle, which what it does is we would create a color or pattern tack set, the banner, a painting, um, and I believe there is a couple other items as well that we have written, but that's more in our documentation than it is in this moment. What you would do is, so you would go for that package. We would then, like, you would communicate with us. We would be able to get in contact with you. And when we get in contact with you, we will figure out what color you want, or like how it would look and how much space you have to be able to design what you're looking for. And so you could have like your club name or a logo, or as best as we can get it on those textures and banner, etc. And then our artists will do that for you. And then once those are completed, then you would have the availability to use those, what is it called? To use those resources for your club, and anyone in your club, including not just you and all of them, could use those resources for that month. And then every month after that, it would be continued use of those items. So you can keep your club branding for as long as you keep that up. Um, so if that's what you're talking about, you would have to go, uh, like once you, what is it called? Once you, I keep saying like prescribe to that, subscribe to that, there it is.
Mhm.
We would get in contact with you, probably through Discord, and we would kind of hash out exactly what you want. Our artist would custom make those textures for you, and then they would be added in game. All right, I think that's that.
Cool.
Any other
Yeah,
questions while I'm sitting here discussing things?
that's actually kind of cool.
Um, yep. Okay, that
No,
was explained. Whew, we're good.
cool. Um,
Oh my
the
God,
next,
some crashes with water troughs. There was a billion of them.
no, it's actually the same issue everybody had, but
Really? It
yeah.
seemed like they were crashing every 5 seconds because those darn things. I
People
love
were,
them, but heck.
people had a suggestion that if you placed it next to this certain block, it crashed, but only with this certain block. And I tested with a bunch of other blocks, and it didn't crash. Uh, but whenever
Was
I
it
looked
that
at the
certain block?
log, it was always the same issue, and it didn't matter about the block you had
Oh.
placed. So it was just if you triggered it or not. So yeah, fixed that crash, but then introduced some extra weird behavior with splitting the water up when connecting more troughs. I rechecked hunger logic because it would instantly go down a level when
Bye,
you
Delphi.
went up a level. Did you? Oh, okay,
Yeah, she wrote bye bye.
cool. Um, and even though it was just re-added up here, hunger and thirst logic, I instantly removed it again, like the next day, because people just
It was really
it
bad.
was just broken. It was broken, really broken.
Horses would just start to starve, and you would try to hand feed them or put it in front of them, and they just would look at you and turn their butt to you and just stay there and be like, all right, starve, I guess. The good news is that the
Yeah.
horses will never starve to death. They can only go down to 3 hearts after, like, once they get to a starving rate. Just to let you know, oh, that's Silverleaf. We are in stream, so if you do decide to speak, it will be on stream. So there you go. Otherwise you can just, chill out and meet with us. Um, let's see. So I was talking about something. I got distracted. Oh yeah, so the horse would just go down and down and down, and you would just have to sit there and stare at it, and it wouldn't do anything. And then the horse wouldn't be able to, walk, trot, or canter because it was so thirsty and hungry that it was just upset. You know? Oh,
Yeah.
that was a problemo. Hey Froggy, as
Gross.
you know, we are in stream. If you do not wish for your voice to be in stream, then we recommend staying on mute. We have a question.
Oh,
For accidental breedings. Um, we're not sure of that. I'm thinking we will, but that is also a problem with how we're going to do breeding since we haven't figured out how breeding exactly is going to go because it's a very fine line of what's okay and what isn't. That we will figure it out when we get there, and that is way into V2. So I'll worry about it then.
yeah. So actually, if we take a look here, it should hopefully actually render. Yeah. So now you can see the lighter looks way better. However,
Oh,
if I were to go into, oops, what's this?
oh! It just kicked that wolf. That poor wolf.
If I go into like a can't, oh God, if I go into a gallop, it's off a bit, just butt posting.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So yeah. Uh, Happy, yes, you can play survival, you can play creative, you can play adventure, you can play whatever you want. We allow you to play in single player. You could just download the mod of CurseForge when it's released, but we do accompany a official server with a survival mod pack. So yeah,
Hannah, will there be geldings? Yes, in V2.
cool. Somebody found out that when horses peed and if there's shavings, they will create soil shavings, which you can't place, but it will turn into soil shaving. And somebody found out that you can just right click it with other shaving types and then you don't, it just replaces it. So that was fixed.
It would just replace it. So usually, so how the soiled shavings works in general is so there's two functions. One is when you pick up the soiled shavings, you can put them in the wheelbarrow, and if you put so much in the wheelbarrow, it'll give you compost that you can use for your crops. Um, but then on top of that, the other thing is that it will make the horse's area or stall or paddock or whatever dirty. And if the area is too dirty, the you just got kicked in the face.
Yeah.
She got you. Anyway, so if it's too dirty, the horse will get sick and can get sicker and sicker and sicker. So it's something that you need to take care of, not just something that exists. So when the horse would, soil some shavings and then people just place new shavings on top of it, it completely negated our system. So that had that had to be fixed.
Yeah. And as you just saw, when the horse does a buck, it actually damages you or other entities around it.
Mhm.
Um, but there was an issue where if you were in survival and riding and the horse bucked, you would also take damage while riding. So that was also fixed.
Mhm.
Um, then we get to a bigger update here, which was we recently just added grain feeders into the game. There's still an issue with because we can't export from Blockbench, so it's still not perfect, but it's we're trying.
For those who don't know,
Um,
Blockbench is the modeling program that we use. Awesome program. There's a lot of bugs, but it's an awesome program, and we use GeckoLib to do our animations. Um, so every time there's an update, kind of like Discord, every time there's an update, there's always a couple bugs. And the latest bug with the latest update is that you can't actually export your models the way that we need to. So as soon as we can and as soon as that bug has been patched, then we will be able to get those in game because otherwise it's just a giant, pink and black box and you can't actually use your grain feeders. Does it crash the game though?
no, no, no. Grain feeders
Okay.
work as supposed. It just shows black and purple.
Okay.
It doesn't crash the game.
Fantastic.
In your server, can anybody like just give any medicine to their horse to make them feel better, or does a certain person have to give certain medicine to a horse to make them better?
In the
Oh,
server.
that's
That would depend on our permission system, which is what our plugin dev is working on. Legend is our mod dev. So those permissions will be refined in time. That's something that Delphi is working on. She's working on writing out all those plugins for all those tiny little details, and the permission systems is one that we have not worked out yet. We plan on doing it to where you can have your friends have permission to be able to touch your horses. And then I believe we will have all veterinaries be able to, or veterinarians be able to do that as well. Because if a horse needs emergency care, no matter who owns it, they're going to deliver that emergency care. So
yeah.
there's that. But we won't have certain medicines until V2. In V1, it's very simple. It's just like a salve, a bandage, a wrap. But in V2, there will be actual legitimate sicknesses, and then there will be actual medicines per sickness. I believe 25, if I'm correct, in total. Sorry, keep it on.
Oh, cool. So yeah, grain feeders. There's also an issue where because the doors, like the stall doors and stuff, are, they're
Oh, that's
basically
the
four
whitewash.
blocks.
Let me
Um,
pretty.
so as you can see, it's like one, two, three, four. It's like four separate blocks. And before you could take a piston and you could break the door. Of course you can't do that anymore, but I'll just show you concepts. So like before you could flick the piston out, it would push the door out here, and the door would be broken. So simple fix, but yeah,
Hey Decipher, just to let you know we are in stream. So if you would not like your voice in stream, we would prefer that you stay on mute. If it doesn't bother you, then no worries.
It's
Just letting
okay.
you know ahead of time.
Jessica, that would be a V2 concept, but we're also gonna have to figure out a good, like, let's say, line in the sand between what's annoying while you're writing and what's not annoying. Like, how much control should the AI have while you're writing? Because it's like this fine line we have to draw, so you don't get annoyed and just suddenly the computer takes over and you can't do anything. Um,
We also have to think
but
about survival as well, because there was a lot of things that we were going to add, like a horse just taking off with you if it's untrained or something like that, but that would institute a massive problem in survival, because if your horse decides, because like the AI can't tell when there's a lava pit or a ravine right in front of you, but you can. Human eyes that does that, but the horses can't. So we didn't want to give it so much AI or so much freedom with movement that they just decide to disobey and you go right off a cliff and your horse is dead. So there's
yeah,
some things that we're trying to allow, and there's some things that we're trying not to because too much like the horses in real life obviously have a lot of things that they can do because they have their own brain, but and brains are something that are incredibly difficult to remake, as humans still cannot do it. So we're gonna try our best to make um, as much of that as complex. Well, not complex, but as inclusive as possible. But again, as Legend said, there is a fine line. So if you guys have ideas, though, you are free to put them in suggestions fac. And even better, if you have a suggestion and you suggest on how it can be done and the parameters, etc., it is much more likely to be put into the game than if it was a general idea. So if you can help us with the background, it will be a lot easier for us to actually get your idea in game. Anyway, sorry, Legend. That is like
yeah.
the 50
No,
minute of
it's
time that I've got in.
no, that's good. I don't know how to explain it either way. So. Um,
Okay.
but here we redid the looking for food and water goal, where it
Mm-hmm.
would automatically search for food and water. It was still not perfect, but it was better.
It
Um,
was better. Is there another change to that? Because I haven't looked at these change logs in a second. Um,
Down here we
yeah, we'll
readjusted
we'll get
where
to
it would
that.
go.
We'll
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
Um, We also updated the player animations because our animator had finished the bucking and rearing animation for the players.
Oh, they're so
So they
pretty.
now follow the horse when it rears or bucks. What do you say? I'm not sure what they're called, but in horse racing, they start in that green machine.
I don't know what that's called either, but no, that's something building wise, not us wise. So you guys can do that with redstone and you can make it look however you want. You can make it do whatever you want because of your control with redstone. So that would be y'all's deal. Um, that's not something that we would probably do.
Yeah. Then there was some minor changes by we updated some recipe unlocks. We added small descriptions for our riding boots as they all give a perk. We didn't directly on all tiers tell what the perk, in plain text is, but we added like a hint description so people knew that okay, this item or these riding boots, they give me something or they do something. Because people were a bit confused that suddenly, you know, it had they had different behavior when they weren't sure
Mm-hmm.
what did what. So
They were reporting the behavior as bugs, and like I don't think it's a secret because I've shown it before. No, we've showcased it many times. Yeah. So
yeah,
like the first riding boots, they give you one step, which means kind of like horses, where you can just kind of go up a mountain because you don't have to jump each and every single block like he's about to show you. Um. Oh, hi Wolf.
so wait, let me actually. In vanilla, it's you can't go here. Like I gotta jump and then go forward over the block. If I get leather riding boots, boop, I can
Yeah.
just walk over one block.
Mm-hmm. And people thought that meant that their auto jump was on, even though they turned it off. It was because they
Yeah.
had riding boots on. That's why.
So as you can see here, we had at the description of adds one step, adds light jump, toughens even the weakest soul, ice ice baby, fire fire baby,
Whoa.
and I wish I could fly.
Oh, I didn't actually see you add those. Those are totally adorable.
No,
Oh,
I
I
had
love
fun with the
those.
last four. I wasn't sure what I did for the first two. I might redo them, and then I was like, no, it's more fun if we like don't directly tell what the perk is, but just make
Mm-hmm.
some fun text.
I think the first
Yeah.
ones are fine. And then those last ones are cute. I like those a lot.
So, yeah. The buck animation would also not play if you were changing gait, and riding. So, and
Which confused a lot of
updated,
players because they thought, sorry,
yeah,
which confused players a lot because they thought that the horse was just not moving, or they thought that the horse was just like ignoring them or something. But no, it's the horse was supposed to play an animation and it simply did not. Sorry.
yeah.
Continue.
We also updated the languages, and I don't know how, but somehow a lot of people have been super helpful in the translation sheet. I think we actually have over 16, 17 languages now. We have quite a few actually.
Ooh. Yeah, those are some. I checked that just the other day, but there's been a couple. Even
So
since
we have
then, there's been a
16.
couple more added.
Yeah. A lot of people are, no,
Finish.
not even all.
Sketch.
Um, Now we have 20 languages. That's cool. So people are wonderful helping out with translations because we don't know every single language on the world. So that's how we join together as a community.
Right.
So
We're
that's
trying to
super
make sure
cool.
that everyone can play in their native language because English is widespread, but I mean, learning a second language is hard enough, let alone a second language for specifically horse equipment and things like that. So we're trying to make
Yeah,
sure that everyone can play as comfortably as possible with the mod.
yeah. And then one of the last here is the unnoticeable changes. We removed the wings so they wouldn't show when you're not flying
For
because
now.
it's currently in a T pose. We don't have any idle animation, so they were taking up a lot of screen space.
They looked like they would
Um,
behead you if you flew by fast enough.
yeah. There was also an issue if you place something below a web guard and remove the block again, it would just disappear.
They may not know what a web guard
Um,
is.
I don't know, a web
You
thingy,
got to show them. It's a
web gate.
I yeah, that. it gets placed in the air. Yeah, like there you go. It gets placed in the air like that. A lot of people have seen them, but a lot of people call them different names. When I tried to Google the most common name, I wasn't really getting one, so I just settled with that name and let it go. So people may not know what that is for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So if you play, so if you place something below it, it would still work. And when I deleted this, it would just remove the web guard. It would be interesting, actually, weird if you added Afrikaans. If you know the language, you are free to translate it. It is a language in Minecraft. We can only do the languages Minecraft provide, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they have a lot. So
But
how it
yeah, there's a
works
lot.
how it works is that document we do not add it ourselves because we do not know those languages. We have staff from all over the world, but I mean we only know so many, and most of us know English as either a main or like Legend as Danish, etc. But he's already added it, as you can see under Legend Den and Silverhorns. They have already added it. So if you would like to add that in our what is it called? In our announcements, we have uh, this link to this translation document. We take backups just in case people try to troll this document, so don't worry about it. But under language, so Legend, if you can demonstrate, under language, you would just add whatever language you have. Underneath,
You'd be
you
like
would add,
African, and then
I don't know
then you would
exactly what
add
that
your
is.
own name.
Mm-hmm.
So my name, and then over here you could see the things you are to translate. And when you get further down, it might be a bit more difficult, but you're only going to translate the last piece. But if you also scroll all the way to the left, you can see the English translation, and so you can just use this as a reference
Right.
for what you need to translate.
So anyone who knows any language, especially that isn't already listed here, everyone who has access to the Discord also has access to this document. Again, if you guys want to troll it, we have backups. Please don't, but I mean, it doesn't matter either way. Um, but if you go in, any person can come in and they can add in their name, add in their language, and help us out by doing this. So it does take a hot second to do, but y'all are it's kind of a community thing because we can't do it ourselves, so the community is coming together to add as many languages as we can get.
Yeah.
Let's see, because there are different models for each horse types like ponies and drafts. If you breed like a pony in a draft, what outcome would get? That is V2. Breeding is in V2, different models in V2. We are not worried about V2 at this time. V1 is what we are focused on and getting out the gate. If you have questions like that, you can go to our Discord in our suggestions FAQ and they can answer you there, or if you use the search bar, that question has already been answered. 99.9% of questions like that have already been answered, so you should be able to search anything that you want and be able to find the answer that you need. It'd be cool if you are away from your green horse on a trail exploring, or they buck you off and they would start going home, like to their stable, paddock, etc. That is something that we are thinking of working on for V2. Hey, I was gonna call you Episodic Revenge. Hey Lily, we are in stream. If you do not want your voice in stream, we recommend that you stay mute. Let's see here. Exploring where they buck you off and yeah. So we plan on having a system in V2 where you can try to set a home, because again, AI is only AI and the horses don't see the world as you see the world. Thank you, Rose. The horses don't see the world as you do because you have big ol' smart human AI and they have Minecraft AI. So we're going to try to set those systems. We're also going to try that for like in SWLVM, we're doing the same thing with pets. So like you can tell your pet to go home if you're in too dangerous of a mission or if they're hurting, and they will teleport home and they will be safe there, etc. But we cannot promise, again, that's an SWLVM. Have you eaten today, Hannah? No, I have not. Um, let's not talk about that. Anyway, moving on.
Right. Um. There's also people reporting that because when you get too low hunger or thirst, we said that the horse cannot canter anymore because it's hungry or it's thirsty. It had the same message for both the hunger and the thirst, so we made those as separate messages because people were confused that, oh, it had full thirst but not full hunger, and it said too thirsty to canter.
Right.
The quality bale would not get used or would not be taken away when you try to fill up a paddock feeder. Also fixed an issue where the water bucket would add 2 thirst levels instead of 1. And some more backend, basically. And the final, most recent update is we added a free look camera, basically, when you're riding. Because we saw a lot of people
Someone is very
use
proud
like
of this.
camera mods, and I don't know where did my horse go?
Where did your horse go?
You go over here.
You just follow the eat grass.
So let's take this off. So yeah, a lot of people were using camera mods, and that's completely fine. You can get some really cool angles with camera mod, but we also know that people like to see their horses. So they like to look at the cool coats or the cool tack and while they're riding. So when you're riding, for example, you can hold down you can hold down a keybind currently set to left alt, and that basically makes you just free look with the camera, so you can see it from the side while riding, or you can get some cool angles or something without like having a separate mod installed if you don't want that.
Right, because those
It's a pretty
separate
cool feature.
mods can get kind of difficult, and they can get a little frustrating to try to play with, or there's a lot of keybinds that do a lot of things. So, oh, that was a wall. So Legend worked all night and then summoned to the next day to try to make sure that you guys can have this for the next update, because you can take a lot of kind of like SSO where you can have free look camera. You can have all of those angles of your horse and its different tack with your basically just making it part of the game where you can see your own horse and tack and things without any sort of issue. The only thing to note is that the horse will only go straight. Like you can kind of make it strafe like you can make it strafe like it's going now, but the horse will only go straight given how Minecraft works in how it moves its entities. That's pretty much the best we could do, but at the same time, that should be, as far as we know, it should be plenty in order to get a pretty picture while jumping or a pretty picture doing pretty much anything you want, just not turning.
Yeah.
We tried our best.
So
That was all
I
Legend's
hope
idea. Credit to him, everyone. Hail Legend.
we got a lot of reports saying that the horses were always kind of ganging up in a corner, trying to reach some block or something, or look for food and water outside their pasture. If they couldn't find anything within the pasture, they would move to a random spot and then try and go there. And if they set their eyes on a grass block outside the pasture, they would not stop until they reached that block.
They looked like zombies trying to get through a gate to a human brains. Like it was kind of scurry. They really wanted that one grass block.
So a lot of people had their horses stuck in a corner in the pasture. Hopefully, this is currently still in testing, but hopefully it should be a bit better now that I've added a system where if it can't reach the block within X amount of seconds, it just says okay and tries to look for a new block. So that should hopefully get more dynamic or more fluid movement basically within the pasture. Yeah, we also found out that the players would not take any damage at all, even in survival, even without the riding boots or anything. They would just not take any damage or fall damage at least. It took me a bit of time to figure that one out, but I found out I had put something weird somewhere random, so that's why I couldn't find it. But I found the spot. I removed the thing, and then, of course, the fall damage were back again.
Found the thing that did the stuff and it fixed things.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, we got some questions if
Um,
you don't mind. Before
okay.
they go too far away in chat, because then I'll get distracted and
Sure.
forget. You saw mules have been mentioned, but will they have different abilities? In SWLVM, each and every creature will have an ability specifically to itself. So, like sheep will not only be used um, for wool, but they could be used for meat, depending on what breeding you're doing. You will go one way or another. Um, Llamas can be used for the same thing, where they will have either wool or meat. But since they're don't really have much meat to them because they're llamas, they're essentially deer. Um, they will also have the ability to protect herds. So if you have, wolves or something coming after your sheep, their job will be to defend them. Same thing with mules, same thing with donkeys. They all have a little bit separate of something that can make them special, and then they can be really good at something depending on how much you breed them. But again, that is V2, that is far in distance. Um, we are trying to get V1 stabilized and ready to go so we can all take a deep breath and relax for a minute. Let's see. The next one, will horse auctions in your Minecraft server, what currency will you be using? Yes, there will be horse auctions. We have the auction house already set up. I believe we have pictures of that in gallery or updates in the Discord server. The currency we will be using are called times. So it's a play off of Amethyst because a lot of the server is based in Amethyst. Um, they are spelled THYMS, so they're times, and I thought it would be kind of cute since, normally in servers, the longer you're on, the more you make. It's kind of like you're dealing in time. So however much you play or like however much time you're spending at something is however much money you're making, etc. Um, let's see. The camera. Doo-doo-doo. Will horses be able to canter on both leads in later versions? We will do our best, but we're trying to prevent you needing to use your entire keyboard in order to make your horse go because well obviously it's going to be difficult in the first place. It would make it hard to just come into the game and just play because you won't be able to understand anything that you're doing, or like if you haven't played for a while and you come back, um, or for new players, because I mean Minecraft is made for 7 plus. So if a 7-year-old can't get the hang of it or enough of it after a while, then it's something that we probably can't do. Um, but we're going to try to figure it out as best as we can. Um, let's see. Will horses spawn in the wild? Currently, not yet. Horses spawning will mainly be through vanilla ponies. You'd have to get a pony, change it with a potion, and go from there. In V2, we plan on having herds and herd AI, but we're not sure if things will spawn straight out in the open because that can conflict with other mods, and we want to be as friendly as possible to as many other mods that can be, because a lot of people want to play with our mod and realistic horse genetics, and if we replace the horses in the world, then it would replace realistic horse genetics horses too, and like I said, we're trying to be friendly and we don't want to do that. Um, well, we want to be friendly, we don't want to replace other people's horses, blah 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 blah. Large pasture, they'll hold on the pasture. Elise, you said you can't wait until New Year. We are not releasing at New Year. That was a general idea of what we were hoping for, but as we have seen, New Year will not do. There is too much to do. There's too much to fix. There's just too much. We do not have a completed mod ready for you guys. So we're hoping that with all of the extensive testing we're trying to do for single player, multiplayer, adding in a couple extra things here at the end, like dressage items, etc., that um, we are shooting for summer of 2021. So still not too far
No,
away,
no,
but somewhere in
22,
there. Huh?
not 21, 22.
22. Yeah, that. We're not going backwards. If we go backwards, we're gonna have problems. Um, let's see.
Lunching?
Lunging, we do not have that yet. Um, that might be something that Legend can do. I don't think we can do it V1. We have enough to do as it is, and lunging can be incredibly buggy. So I'm not certain, but we will try to do that in V2. Because in V2 we plan on having a lot of different stats, like the difference between riding and groundwork. So your horse can be absolutely amazing at groundwork and be beautiful, but as soon as you get on their back, they're trying to kill you. you know, like you had to train them on both sides. Let's see. Yep, answering questions. Thank you. I appreciate that. Will there be more animals in the livestock mod? Mountain lions, bobcats, coyotes. Um, depending on the biome, deer, birds. We do not plan on adding all creatures because there's a lot of mods that do that. We will try to make like a compatibility to see if we can work with them and maybe figure out how we can get a little AI or something to where they can function as they need to for what we would do. But we do plan on adding at least small creatures because we do plan on adding working birds, just like there's working cats and working dogs. The working cats would be like barn cats catching mice and stuff that make sure that your feeds and your food don't get stolen by, you know, rats or eaten. Um, or, you know, like Black Plague style. And then let's see. You said something and my brain got distracted by cats. It was in there somewhere. Oh yeah, so we do plan on doing like raccoons or something that like the birds would be able to catch or fend off from your fields and things like that. It has not been 100% planned how big the animals would get or how much would go after your livestock. SWLVM is a while away. Um, will there be dressage saddles, V2? With horse growth, will there be a gradual like growth or will it just poof into an adult horse after a period of time? Um, I believe we're going to go for. Actually, we haven't gotten too much into that because we started considering it, but then Legends like, I'm still doing V1. We're like, yeah, you are. So we'll leave this till later. So we're leaving it till later.
Yeah.
Let's see. Numbers and letters and arenas. Brushing, washing. Yep. Already got that. You are answering things. Uh-huh. Yep. 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 We're good. All right. So what's left in the changelog? There's a little bit
Cool.
left to go.
The horses would play the swim animation while in like 1 block deep water, and it could even be like a flowing water, so like, you know, basically 1/8 of a block height, and it would still swim. So that's fixed. It now needs to be submerged into water, like 80% of the body or something, before it plays the swim animation. Hopefully we made, because the leading system in Minecraft is a bit weird and just random, and you know what,
It's
it
so
doesn't matter if,
frustrating.
yeah, and vanilla horses do it as well, where they like glide along the ground and look everywhere else but you. So we are trying to see what we can do about making
Do you want to discuss
the
that?
leading a bit more better.
Do you want to
What?
discuss why that is?
I don't know.
You told me. That's the only
The
reason
leading?
why I know. Okay, so
Oh,
what's going on with the horses is we are currently basing off vanilla AI. So people think it's our horses, it's not our horses. It's vanilla that does it. So what's going on right there is it's actually usually worse, but he's added some of his AI to it where what the horses try to do when they walk is in Minecraft they just look random directions. They could go. Yep, like that. They could go like 180 degrees. They could just start just flipping, going crazy in just random directions like that. And that's what makes leading them so hard. Is the same AI while they're walking is the same AI while they're walking on a lead. They just completely ignore that the lead is there. All the AI knows is that they're just going. So when they go, they just go random directions. So with our horses, what we're trying to do is make it so the more that the horse loves and trusts you, the more it would see he's trying to go one way, but he's at least trying to look at the player, so it's at least
he's not spinning
kind of
around, at
straight.
least like the vanilla
Right.
horses are.
Right. So with that, we're trying to make it so the better the horse is trained, the more it would look at you specifically and follow you specifically without trying to go other directions. Um, we are not too heavy into AI yet, and AI is incredibly difficult. So we're trying our best to get as much of it as we can into V1, but it is not the current priority. So we're trying our best, but we'll see what we can do in V1. In V2 is when things plan to really kick off, especially since once the server is open, we are hoping to get a lot more intake of support because we desperately need that support in order to keep this project alive, like through our Patreon. Um, So when the server is open, we are projecting to have a good amount of that support, and that will help us a lot to be able to get new people in here who actually know how to do Minecraft AI, who know how to do these things instead of having to try to teach ourselves on how to do it, which takes a lot longer to get it done. Will there be lead changes? That has been answered if you go a little bit farther back in the stream, or if you go to suggestions FAQ in our Discord, that has the answer for you. Chimera, how many staff members do you got in your development team? Depending on what part of the development you're talking about, or our entire team. Our entire staff team, mods, admins, texture artists, modelers, usually people have a couple different jobs among themselves. We have about 35 staff, and one developer. Well, we have one sysadmin, we have one mod developer, which is Legend. Legend is the only developer on the project. He's been the only developer for a long time. So basically anything in game that is the actual mod wise that aren't textures and models, etc., and animations is Legend. Is all credit to him. And then we have a plugin developer who he's working on a job currently, but as soon as he is off that job, he'll be working with us to make custom plugins for the server. So we have those three. But in absolute total, 35.
Yeah.
Let's see. Will the cats and birds keeping the food safe? Will the weather also affect the food too if it's not stored properly? We do not have weather in the mod, or we do not plan on it. That's too big. We don't plan on making an entire complete world because we don't have the support for that yet. I mean, we could try in time if Legend wants to, because again, he's our dev, so pretty much everything has to go through him. But currently, we're just trying to stay alive in general. Just trying to keep going. Let alone trying to basically make an entire horse game inside of Minecraft as a game engine, which we could do. It's just we simply do not have the resources to do so. At this time,
Yeah.
but we could try. We could try to do little tiny AI things, like if it has sunlight on it, like direct sunlight from above, then it could count as weather or something, but that's as far as that can go.
Yeah.
Let's see, possibly tuna prizes. Yep, thank you, Frog. Horses refusing to do things. Horses already do that. Okay, thank you, Froggy. You're answering a lot of questions. Very helpful. All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Thank you, Chimera. So we also added the paddock feeder as a valid source for getting food for the horses.
You want to show them what it looks like?
Yeah.
I think it's cute. I have 3 tags and I don't know why. What?
That's paddock feeder.
I don't know why I'm getting tagged in these random places. I can't handle that right now. I am on stream. Froggy,
And you
since you're a
can.
barn cat, would you mind going to look and see what that might be? And then I can get my phone and see what's going on. Anyway, so paddock feeder. Currently it's only available in whitewash. We're gonna try to make it available in the other kind of wood types as well. Basically anything with a wood type, we're trying to make it available in the others, but currently it is simply the whitewash.
Yeah. So that's the paddock feeder. They should now be able to eat from that as well. Hopefully fix that the P would appear on non-sturdy blocks, as they're called. Which is basically like fences, stairs, slabs. Maybe slabs. I don't know. But at least fences and stairs should not have P on them. So yeah.
Especially because
And
it would just
also,
float in the air. So like
yeah,
it would, because it's like a static texture on a block, so it would just float halfway off a stair. Very weird. Very weird.
yeah. As Hannah mentioned, we will try and make the paddock feeder come in like the 6 different wood variations plus whitewash, so that's 7 in total. If we have time for it.
Right.
And also there was an issue where there was an issue where if you were cantering and then you backed up, it would just, because it didn't get enough time to know that you stopped, so it would just go backwards with like a canter speed. and that is
And used to be with a canter animation too, but we're trying to fix that to where when you back up, you don't just, start cantering 30 miles an hour backwards.
yeah.
With a little animation. Oh.
So um
Oh, we don't have to worry
and
about the mentions. The other admins took care of it within minutes.
right, okay. And before this update, we're talking about the lever. If I had it in my hotbar, which means if like without changing anything, it's on your right hand, as you can see. But with the render, like outside view, it would appear on the left hand. So I just swapped those two hands.
That's very interesting. I didn't
Um,
realize that.
it's super odd with walking. Every other like gate or something works, but not the walk. It
I don't know why it's
just
doing that.
won't
That's very weird.
contain items. Yeah, super odd.
Can you see it from a different direction? Because I want to see what that looks like if you just have that block. It's just you got force powers now. Enjoy.
But like every other animation basically work. So
Maybe it's like a pivot point. I'll see what Eric has
could
to
be.
say about that.
So yeah, that is the current release changes or beta changes we've done throughout since we opened up for beta testing. Of course, still going through it, and yeah, as we saw in the first half, it's currently 32 open. Oh god, this is a new one. I just saw it pop up. Either way, we have 32 open issues, which are a lot about like they kind of go again. Something about armor displacement or flight, which we know is kind of rocky at the moment. But we have fixed, or so to say, quote unquote, fixed 103 issues, which everything from recipes to issues to naming to yeah, and also a lot of duplicate issues comes in, and I don't know. So yeah,
There's a couple more questions. Well, I see here, since V1 is survival based, V2 creative, and then V3 survival magic, quote unquote correct. We're still gonna try to make things always survival based. Um, it's just like so that way things aren't too expensive, etc. So like it's impossible to play without creative because a lot of people don't enjoy just getting whatever you want in creative. Some people love to build in it, some people just don't care for it. So V1 is V1 is a survival release. Basically, it's kind of like Knights and Horses is more of what we're going for, where it's upgrading everything that's already in actual Minecraft, so your horse can actually be a vital part of your survival in Minecraft and mod packs versus just that thing over there that exists. Um, V2 is the Western and English release that is based more in extras where people don't want to go out and defeat the Ender Dragon, but they still, do what they do, whatever that is. Again, we're going to try to make sure
a
it's
lot
not
of
expensive.
decorative blocks,
Mm-hmm.
AI updates, and
We're going to be
also
focusing
yeah,
specifically on horses at home, like,
yeah,
with jumping arenas instead of, going out and trying to defeat dragons. And then
yeah.
V3 is back to survival and magic. So we have lore already in the mod. It's small, but I like it personally. And then in V3 we plan on completely expounding on that with an entire dimension and dungeons and things that you can do. But again, V2 is far, V3 is way out there, and again, we're just trying to survive day to day as it is. Um, I'm starting
Yeah.
to be a little worried about that, but don't worry about it. It's fine. Let's see.
Hanny asked if the feeder will be texture pack compatible. Yes, everything that is our predefined textures, everything we texture with the mod is up for replacement for you as on your own in like a single player world with your own custom texture pack. In
Wait,
case you
really?
didn't like this specific code, yeah, you can just make your own code. But you don't have the model, so it's going to be pretty difficult to retexture it. But
Hmm.
you could override this code with just a resource pack in case you wanted something else and you had a better idea. I don't know. You can basically overwrite any textures we have made with your own if you would like to.
But that's in general. I think they might have also been asking if you can do that in like. Woo,
What?
that's a frame. Did you see that? What? That's actually really cool. What is going on?
I think it's somehow, I don't know what's going on, but it looks like it's going at a, like, like kind of canter or something
Oh, that's
speed.
definite. That looks like a gallop. The horse's head is low, the feet are too high. It looks like a. Okay, you're gonna make me sick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a gallop.
Odd.
Those feet are way too high. What?
Um,
What is that?
I have no idea. Chimera asks if we have time. Could you show all the possible options of making a jump? Yeah, we can showcase the jumps.
I don't see why not. Let's see.
Let's see quickly if there's any other questions. So I missed to underrated. Thank you. You know, right? So well animated and created, and it's only. Will there be like hay flakes you can place on the ground?
Not currently. V2.
Right.
Currently the
So
bales are just bales, and they can get eaten in half. Like half a bale gets eaten, and then the actual bale, like a full meal, because like usually you can put like a horse's feed into about like a third of a bale per feeding, depending on how heavy the bale is, etc. But we just did it half since Minecraft bales are blocks and not rectangles. So we just kind of made it instead of 12 flakes, or technically be like 10. Instead of like 10 flakes, we just, bunched it all together and made it 2 flakes, quote unquote. But V2.
Luna, there's only two types of shavings. There's dark shavings and there's light stitch shavings. You are most likely thinking about the rubber mats. There's medium, light, and dark. But this is the light shaving. This is the dark shaving color. Yeah. So
There's
for
no
the jump,
difference in their ability.
yeah.
Just
Are the jumps placeable? The jumps is a whole separate thing about the mod. So how you make it as it stands right now, you have to have one block and then have like a 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna sit this dog down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gap, like empty blocks, and then another block, right? Then you
So
get
it's
the
technically
measurement.
7 wide.
Yeah, so 7 wide, including like the standards.
Yes.
So then you right click the first block and you go over and you right click the second block and you get this GUI.
Which has been newly improved. It was
Yeah, so now it
incredibly
fits.
ugly for a long time.
So if we like change the view a bit, it's easier to see. So you can still see the standards. So this destroy button destroys the whole jump. You have like all the 5 layers and you have the standards. So you can swap standards to schooling, the radial, vertical slant, and not.
You want to do 3 layers so they can, because that's
Yeah.
only the top part. They change how they look.
So you can add layers here, and it adds like 1 layer in, and you can go all the way up to 5. It's a pretty tall jump. And you can of course delete layers again. So let's just go with 3. And again, you can change the standards. So they have a bottom, a middle, and a top piece. So if I add more layers, the middle piece just gets replicated. Radial, the vertical slant, and none. So let's go with the radial. And then for each layer, you can pick something. Layer 1 has the most options because some things can't float in the air. So we have a log, you have a pole on a box, and some options also have color options, and they have the 16 colors in Minecraft. So you can like cycle through them, white, orange, like all the vanilla colors you know. We also have the feature in case you skipped over a color. Oh, I want to go back. You right click, boom, right? You go 1 back. Super cool. Because I hate it myself when you have 16 options and you cycle through it really fast and then you miss it and then you recycle through it. Super annoying. So we have colors for some options. We have a larger pole on the box. We have a hedge, which is just leaves. A brick wall. A brush box, which is just bugs with plants. Flower bugs. Um,
Oh, you chose
those
brown.
also, yeah, those also have color options. So you could have like I don't know, light blue flowers in case you wanted to. Really cool. And to reopen the GUI, you just click on any block you want, and it reopens. Like I could click here or I could click here, and it reopens the editor. We have the coop, which is kind of a little glitchy with the lighting in Minecraft, but yeah,
Yeah, it's a
you
little
get the
upsetty,
idea.
but we'll try to work on that.
Yeah. The roll top, which is one way here, looks like this. Also pretty cool one.
I
We
do like
have
the
a
roll
mini
top.
wall, a ground pole, so that especially goes really well with none standards.
So if you're working for trop poles.
Yeah. So if I were like the elite layer, and then I could just walk over them, right, and train my horse. We have the standard rail, which is just a floating one. We have planks. We have a fancy plank, um, and of course none. So that's the kind of options you have. You can also cycle backwards on these things here, on like all the options. Left click and right click. You then have like only a few options when you go up layers. So like you had the rail, the plank fancy, and if you have nothing below, you also get no, it's here. No, wait, is it 4 above? No, but oh right, because it needs the rail below. No, how do you make the what's it called? The flag thingies, the panels.
Oh, the panels. I thought they needed.
What was the
Oh, I
requirement?
don't even remember anymore. I don't remember how to get panels. Um, so the reason we don't remember how to get panels, so each and everything has something specific. So like the flower box can only be on the ground. Um, or like the ground pole can be on its own, but like there's something I think like the panels since they're fillers, they have to have like they have to have a rail above it because it's a filler. So it
Oh,
can't
a rail
just be
above
there.
it.
So it should be a rail playing fancy.
Yeah,
There it
there
is.
you go.
So they're
So
fillers.
we
So you have to have
yeah.
one above it in order to have that below it.
Yeah. So this is the panel wave. We have the arrow panel and a stripe panel. So
We
those are
plan
the
on making
three.
more in V2.
Yeah. Um, so those are the current options you have currently to make stuff.
I
And
forgot
again, you
panels
can
existed.
customize it as you would like to.
Hmm.
Um, and if you
And
don't
you
need it
can
anymore,
if you wait one moment, if you can destroy, not destroy, but if you can make layer 3 and layer 2 none, and then make layer 1 just anything, I don't really care. There you go. And then if you would destroy those ahead of you. Yep, so what you can do is if you want the whole standard, you can just delete those like boxes, and so you can still jump through this as only that one. But since those are destroyed, you can't access the jump through those blocks anymore. You'd have to go through a still active box. So like the actual standard or
so now I can't click like here, but now I
right.
can just click on the log down here.
So it doesn't hurt anything, but if you still want the standards on the side, you can have full standards or as big of standards as you want. We don't limit you that way. Just want to make sure that you guys knew that that also existed.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a lot of questions. Froggy's
I don't
answered
actually
that
see.
one. Do do do. Can you show all the things in the mod in a regular video? We do plan on doing a lot of tutorial videos and a lot of general videos, but right now as the mod is still stabilizing, we're still fixing textures, we're still, we're very early in beta. We just started a couple weeks ago, so we are currently doing everything we can to just get everything in one spot before we make videos because it would be very obvious when those videos were outdated and we want them to last a little bit longer because those videos are not easy to make. They take at least a few days of our time plus our video editor's time, which would be another staff member on the team, etc. Um, So we're trying to be as efficient as possible, especially since the mod isn't out yet. But yeah, we will definitely plan on doing an overarching video that just shows everything that you can do.
Yeah.
Measuring tool. Would you like to be? Would it be available for 1.12.2? No, we are 1.16 and above. We will not be backporting. Pretty much anything that is horse related in 1.12.2, we plan on doing ourselves. So if you like 1.12.2, have fun. And there's mods there that can help you out for that. And I believe there's a couple other horse mods being developed for 1.2. Realistic Horse Genetics is still 1.12.2, and then I think there's another one that's supposed to be in development for that. Let's see. I think but it's been a long time that they've been doing stuff. I don't really know what's going on with them. But we're 1.16 and we are up from there. We don't plan on doing 1.17 since it's being skipped over so quickly, but we do plan that if we can, we're going to update 1.18, 19, 20, see what we can do about that. We're going to try to keep from being forgotten in the background. Someone had
Asking.
asked about Crossrails. Do you want to answer that one?
I said in the chat that we're trying to make Crossrails for V2. Maybe V1 if we can get to it, since it's like a lot of design need, or design requirement, or like, what can you say? A lot of decisions need to be made on how it's implemented, and it's a bit difficult to figuring out a proper solution how to make it. But I might actually have an idea in mind.
Yeah. The
That I just
biggest
thought
problem
about.
is
Yeah.
the angle. So
Right.
we just can't make a pole that just extends 5 blocks and then just have it exist in the world. It like Minecraft works in block by block. If you try to do something outside of that one block, it starts to go, if I'm correct, it starts going into entity territory, and entities can, if you have too many of them, like an entire arena full of jumps, you could end up lagging out your whole game to the point where you can barely play, or you just wouldn't be able to use it, or it's just really funky and would have a lot of very odd behavior that you would have to account for, that since it's just a static item it shouldn't have in the first place. Like Crossrail's getting them to look right and function right, but not look stupid is really
Yeah.
hard. Making
I
them
might have
look
an
right is a problem.
I might have an idea of how we could implement it, but with that implementation, making them actually look good would maybe be the bigger question.
Yeah, there's a few different ways we could possibly go about it, but it's not exactly a big deal to us in the moment. So Crossrails are very good training tools for, getting into jumping, but currently as it stands, we are going to I believe we're going to leave that for V2. If we have extra time or Legend just wants to work on anything else but V1 at the point, because, you get sick of some things after a while, then maybe, but we cannot promise for V1. I think that you guys...
Somebody asked about the rear animation I saw.
Yes.
Yes. So when the horse gets angry or mad or whatever you want to call it, like if you hurt it or if you're trying to tame it, like basically going by vanilla logic, it kicks you off and plays an animation. Currently, it's randomized. Either it plays the buck animation or it plays the rear animation. So let's see if we can get the rear animation here. That's the one.
I believe Eric is also working on speeding up that animation because I believe
Yeah.
it's a touch slow. So we will be working on... Oh, look how pretty he is. That's the Maisie skin, or Blanket Appaloosa. But yeah, so I believe Maisie's she. But and that's Blazy over there. So we got Maisie and Blazy. But yeah, so he's working on making it a little bit faster. But yeah, so that's our rear animation, and I really like the buck. The buck I think took Eric at least a couple weeks because we were poring over references to make sure that we got like the specific attitude right, because we didn't want like a horse in fear. We wanted a horse that was having, like a little temper tantrum. There's a difference. So we were it took weeks for him to get it exactly as he liked it, and I think that the buck animation is absolutely perfect. It is the cutest animation ever.
And I hope this answers your question, Elise. So yes, you can jump while turning the camera. It might be a bit difficult to see where you're going. But yeah.
But you can get pictures.
It is
Yes.
possible. Yeah.
Is there a schedule for streams, and what's the SWEM Twitch account? We do not have a Twitch. We only have YouTube. Well, we have YouTube, Instagram. There's another one in there. TikTok. I believe we have Facebook now. I don't do Facebook.
No, I
So
don't think so.
we do have
S-
Facebook. One of
Oh
our
well.
marketing manager Peachy is running the Facebook, but I don't do Facebook. I don't go that direction.
Yeah.
So
So
she's running it. So we have that as well, but we do not have Twitch. On YouTube, we normally do stream every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, because that's my time. 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then we have game night at 3, which is in 30 minutes. We will be playing Crab Game tonight. Is that what you said?
yeah.
Yeah, that. So we will be playing that tonight. But we do not have a Twitch. But we have that scheduled, so almost every week. We just missed the past couple weeks because we just did beta and we were all exhausted after pouring over 330 applications for beta. We accepted 170 people, I believe. But let's see. Does anyone Westerny know what the discipline is called where you chase a calf and lasso it? It's roping? Anyway, let's see. It's gonna be an animation
Will
for
there?
jumps falling.
Right. Oh yeah. There's going to be an animation for jumps falling, if I remember correctly. Would there be one for barrel falling, or does grass particles for rain? Let me.
All of that will be V2 because we
Yeah.
have absolutely no idea how to do that.
Sure.
Like that's a lot more coding work than you might think it is. It is a lot of work, and the game can get very angy about trying to understand what you're asking it to do. So V2 is where we're pushing a lot of the pressure because with V1 we're trying to get all of the hardest core work down, so then the rest of it we can build on top of it. So currently we're trying to get through V1, and again, when the server opens, we are projecting that we'll be getting a good amount of support. Like I said before, right now we are like the team is very, very dedicated and very passionate, but when it comes to the support we need in order to survive, we need help. So we're just trying to get through V1, get to the server. By the way, that one over there is looking a little funk. If you can you go back over to the, is it the whitewash? There it is. The oak. Yeah, the oak in the middle. If you go to the side, you see the bar. I thought that was
Yeah,
taken care of.
that's. Oh no,
I thought that was done.
still have no clue.
I thought you fixed it. Did you?
No,
Did you not
because
figure it out?
the thing about fixing it would be that you could place blocks here and then you
Uh-huh.
could see through them, but it would fix that.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a problem.
So
Do be
will
like
there be
that.
different stall doors? I know that there's one, but we have more. So we have a care size stall door, which are 3x2. They come in all wood variations plus whitewash. We have horse variations for stall doors, which is a 2x2, which comes in the same 7 options. That's the stall door options, but we do have like also pasture gates and web guards. And pasture gates also come in horse and care. They come in all 16 colors of Minecraft. Looks like this, so that's also just a 2x2 and a 3x2. And lastly, we have the web guards coming in a 1x1, a 2x2, and a 3x2. So,
The reason that these doors specifically come in these, like the web guards specifically come in the 1x1, but the others don't, is because that is a rider size door, which is basically you don't have a door in this doorway, but you don't want a horse getting in there. Because horses, if they get out, they'll just explore anything and eat everything within distance. So um, so we have that rider door. So like if you have a baby who's following you around or whatever, you can close the little web guard behind you so the horses don't try to snag everything in the feed room. They always do.
yeah.
Um,
Let's see. What time
Evelyn,
zone are you on?
yeah, Evelyn, I work on EST, because that's where from. I'm in eastern side of the United States. That's why we are doing streams at 1 p.m. because I believe when streams start, I think it's like 7 p.m.
7 my time. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 in your GMT plus 1, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that way it kind of works for everyone. So we try pretty hard to make sure that everyone has access to it, even though it's earlier in the day for us and later in the day for you, but at least everyone can be together, you know? So we're trying our hardest to do that. That's also why um, game night is at 3 p.m. for me, because that's really early in American time. But at the same time, um, my brain did a stop. That's
That's
9
9
p.m.
p.m. for
Right.
me.
hmm
And before we changed, we had game night at what was it?
7 p.m. my
6,
time.
7 p.m. your time, which was 1 a.m. my time. So
Right.
a lot of Europeans could never make it because,
hmm
it was 1 a.m. in the middle of the night, Friday night.
Right.
So we changed it to Saturday. So both EU and US people can join.
Right. That way we can have everyone. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you, Rose. As soon as you said that, yeah, we have
Mm.
20 minutes till game night. I'm just looking if there's any last questions before we get off stream and go to game night. Again, we're going to be playing Crab Game. Everything is in the Discord. If you guys want to be active in the community, if you want to see what's going on, if you want to see everything, all of like our gallery images, which if you could go to that, that would be great. Gallery.
Oh,
Gallery.
sorry. Yeah.
There you go. So gallery has all the pictures. It has a lot of memes that people make because we have a lot of memes, especially by Evelyn in our server. I believe she's one of our barn cats. I think. I'm losing track of the barn cats. We have a few of them running around. But yeah, we have a bunch of pictures of like what our beta testers have taken. The difference between a SWEM horse and a Minecraft horse. That's a big difference. Um, Things like that. So our gallery holds all of our prettier pictures, and then the devlog holds everything that uh, Legend does. Suggestions fact is where you guys can ask questions and get your questions answered, as you can see in pins. Pins.
Uh,
There you go. In pins, we have a bunch of things set up and like the suggestion facts. So like just basic things that are answered. Please search before you ask. Our barn cats try to stay as patient and help as much as they can, but if one more person asks if there's horses in the mod, oh my god. Anyway, so from there we have updates, which is updates on the actual everything. So that's the server, that's the map, that's updates that are going on. Anything that might be happening is in there. Like our Instagram, we got to 1,000 followers. Um, just general updates, glow ups, things that have looked one way and then you know, they got better. That right there is an update to something that you guys actually have no idea what it is, and I'm not telling you, ha ha ha, secret. And then the original map, it's so ugly. I love it. Our
yeah,
YouTube
so it's
hit
just general
1.2K.
updates.
Oh, it's so pretty. Look at it.
Our
Oh, I
YouTube
love
is
the
at almost
animations.
2K.
I know. It's gotten bigger
Instagram
quickly.
is almost at 2K.
Oh, really? I'm out of the
Um,
loop apparently. What's our TikTok
and
at?
TikTok is 15.
15K. Yay, I'm excited. Um, anyway, so everything is in the Discord. So if you want to be a part of us, if you want to know what's going on sooner rather than later, the streams are actually the last to know. Yeah, we're at 1500. The 1500, 5500, excuse me for speaking. Uh, and then we have our How to Help channel as well. Um, so anyone who basically you want to be caught up, you want to know what's going on, being in calls is the fastest way to learn anything because we've been on break for the past a little bit as beta has started as we let Legend just do his thing. But we are often in calls doing game night or doing everything else. So if you want to learn stuff, especially directly from me or Legend to know, like not get like secondhand information, we'll tell you straight up if you have questions, we'll ask you whatever you need, whatever you need to know, blah, 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 blah. Everything is there. Okay. Are we good? We got everything. All right, any more questions? Because we got to go because it is 2:42 p.m. my time. It is, what's 15 plus 3? That is 18. I can count, I promise. That is, I really need to eat. I'm hungry. That is 18 minutes until game night.
The currency question is we're going to use a custom currency called times. So it's a server currency. Yeah.
Yes, they will be an amethyst coin and times. THYMS, not like time as in the plant. And you might be able to commission. Yes, thank you, Froggy. You will be able to commission custom coats once the server and the mod is released. So if you guys want a coat of a horse that you love very much, whether it's from another game or whether it's something that you made up like an OC, there will be limitations on OCs because I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of neon everywhere. That depends. But anyway, beyond that, you'll also, like, if you have a horse in real life that you want to honor, that you love so much, you can have a coat from that as well. So that will be available and that will help support us. Everything in our store will go to help supporting SWEM stay alive, stay open, and stay continually developing because we're using Minecraft as a game engine as is. And the more support we get, the more love we get, the more staff and helpers we get with different skill sets and abilities, we're just going to keep on trucking if we can do it. Checking for anything else. Okay, I think we are good. I'm gonna end it there before there's like another 50 billion questions. Okay, alrighty, everyone. Game night is 17 minutes. Hey, it has a counter. Hello, I didn't notice that. I didn't have to do math. I hate math.
It doesn't update now.
Oh, well, 15 minutes, close enough. This is just somewhere in there. Okay, well, goodbye, everyone. Have a good day. We hope we answered a lot of questions and did things and stuff. We will see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.